Let's talk about the formula for answering situational question in a Scrum interview. Hello, welcome to the Scrum chat room with Dr. Francis Imbunya. If you are new to this Scrum room, click the subscribe button, like and share if this is actually benefiting you. We're putting it we're putting it in a very simple way that you can understand. And if you are actually walking through your Scrum journey and you want to be coached personally by me on how to pick that first Scrum Master job while minimizing a lot of error, reach out to me and I'll be able to tell you what it takes to be part of my team. And if you want to be certified as well, reach out and then we're going to show you how to go about that. But without wasting so much time, let's get into our question. And what is our question? How to deal with situational questions. Now, situational questions are questions that are not really Scrum Master specific. To say they're not going to ask you how do you run a sprint planning, what is your day like a Scrum Master, and they're going to ask you what has been a time. What has been a time when this happened? What has been a time when this happened? How do you deal with stakeholder? What has been a time when a stakeholder actually pushes you to take in more than your team can take? So those are situational questions, and they can come from any angle. Now, what is the formula for answering situational question? Very simple. Every situational question can be answered based on what I call the relationship concept. Now, if I ask you, what has been a time when you failed your team? Now, the first thing is that the first question I give my team members is that you don't have to accept that you have failed your team. You can always say, okay, look, that's a very important question, but I wish I have gone through that situation, but there've not been a time where I felt like I failed my team. I'm not a Superman, but what I try to do is that I try to build a lot of personal relationship with my team in such a way that before something even come up, I already have a heads up by emotional intelligence. I can already pick it out because of the relationship with my team. So I try as much as possible to make sure that I'm there for my team, to make sure that I'm communicating with my team. So I did not actually say that. Yes, I remember a time I failed my team. So yeah, so you can also say that there's not been a time you failed your team. Now, what has been a time where you work with a very difficult product owner that could not really compromise on what you should do? You don't have to accept that you have that situation. What you're going to do, use the relationship approach. That's a very important question. Yeah, I understand that people might be difficult, people might have their own different characteristics, but what I try to do is that I try to focus on the value of people and I don't try to focus on the personality. I know personality is really good, but then when you look at the value of the people and what they bring to the team, it helps you to be able to communicate with them in a more valuable way. For instance, if I know that you don't like cold water, I'm not going to offer you cold water, right? I'm always going to say, oh, I know we have cold water, but I know you don't like cold water. I'm going to order you a glass of warm water so that you can still have water but warm. Because of that value, you realize that I'm not going to have problem with this person. So I try as much as possible to build a relationship beyond just the team level with all my PO in such a way that we can understand value, we can understand boundary, and because of that, I hardly get into trouble with my Scrum Master. Now, what has been a time when you have a very stubborn team member that was giving your team trouble, was always causing you to run back on your velocity, and how did you handle that relationship? Yeah, I know some team members can be very challenging, and I've come across that. But one of the reasons I don't always kind of look at them to be a thorn on my flesh is because as a Scrum Master, my goal is to facilitate, is to make sure that a team, I'm taking out the impediment. So I look at such situation as challenges I need to solve. So in order for me to be able to solve that situation, I build a relationship. I go closer to the person and understand why they're behaving that way. I'm able to look at how I can be able to determine some of the value that they have aside the negative value, and I use that value to push them to see how they can use those positive value to collaborate with the team. In any case, in a worst case scenario, which after I've tried everything and it is fair, I'm not going to prioritize that bad person over the whole team. So in most of the cases, which I've not really had, but if I were ready to deal with that, I'll make sure that I do everything within my space to resolve it. But if I cannot resolve it, I probably will escalate that to the management. And if the management kind of really talk to them, I think they should come to order. If not, it's going to be more of a management issue, right? But then on my space as a coach, I really try as much to coach them to make them see the behavior, the impact on the team, the benefit of trying to do it in another way, the benefit of separating their values and their opinion from the team and focusing on the team goal. So you realize we've answered almost every question based on the relationship approach. When you ask a question on what has been a time, think about building a relationship. Remember, when we talk about the 5 team dysfunctionality, at the baseline we have trust. If there is no trust, trust is about the relationship I have with you. If I'm asking you now, hey, can you give me $5,000? Your willingness to give me that money is going to be on trust, right? It's going to be on relationship. So most of the challenges can be resolved if you think about them as a relationship issues. And think about them. If you build better relationship, this problem will be solved. That's going to help you answer many situational questions during your interview. If this was beneficial, share to someone, invite someone to like and subscribe to this channel. And if you actually need help going through your interview, feel free. I've put my number in the description. Reach out to me and we're going to take a conversation from there. If you like to be a Scrum Master and want to really go through a professional training that's going to help you stand out and not go through several interviews before getting a job, reach out. My team is going to help you go through that phase. Do have a great day. I'll see you in the next video.